Today's project is to repair this Omer PR28 pneumatic pinner. Each time a pin is driven, the driver fails to return for the next fire. It was manufactured in 2002. You might be asking, what's a pneumatic pinner? It drives a micro-sized headless nail that closely resembles a needle. It's commonly used in fine woodwork because it leaves a nearly invisible nail entry hole. To begin troubleshooting the problem, I removed the 4 head screws and the exhaust deflector. The Omer comes equipped with the 2 Allen wrenches you need for disassembly, but I prefer to use a T-style Allen wrench to speed up the process. Before removing the head, I removed and inspected the round plastic exhaust gasket. They can deteriorate over time and cause the gun to malfunction. Next, I removed the head with the valve assembly intact. I quickly discovered the source of the problem. The cylinder was coated with frangible crumbs of plastic. I had to remove the driver to find the source of the deteriorated plastic. After trying to tap the cylinder free on the workbench, I decided to remove the nose piece. Before removing the nose cover, disengage the magazine latch and empty the chamber. This will prevent the spring from ejecting the pins through the nose of the gun. To allow more complete access to the cylinder, I decided to remove the magazine and the nose as one piece from the body. I began by removing the 2 nose mounting screws and the magazine mounting screw. To prevent damage to the gasket surface, I used a painter's 5-in-1 tool to engage the circular slot in the cylinder and lift it free. The bumper at the lower end of the cylinder was deteriorated and pieces were scattered throughout the gun. When I tried to remove the remnants of the bumper, it crumbled in my fingers. The bits and pieces were saturated with pneumatic oil and sticking to all the interior surfaces. I began by cleaning the cylinder with alcohol pads. After cleaning the outside and the inside of the cylinder, I used a soft bristle brush to clean the ports. To thoroughly clean the body, I wrapped an alcohol pad around the bristles of a toothbrush. This allowed me to clean around the ribs at the base of the cylinder. I repeated the process until the alcohol pads came out clean. I also cleaned the mating surface of the nose to remove any residual plastic and oily residue. I cleaned and inspected the driver's slot, checking for wear and damage from the overdriven driver. To perform my final cleaning, I switched to pure isopropyl alcohol and an acid brush. The acid brush allows me to reach places that the right-angled toothbrush cannot effectuate, such as the bottom face and corners. Using a clear glass cup allows me to gauge the cleanliness of the parts during the process. If the alcohol becomes discolored, I will replace the solution and start again. I performed a final inspection with a lighted magnifier before I began assembly. I double cleaned the cylinder using the same process. I cleaned the nose cover and the exhaust deflector prior to soaking the screws in the alcohol. As I was cleaning the head, I noticed the valve assembly was sticking. I applied some pneumatic tool oil and let it soak in from both directions. Then I cycled it from both directions and freed it up and got it operating smoothly. Now that I had all the pneumatic parts cleaned and inspected, I turned my attention to the magazine. I used the mildly contaminated alcohol to clean the magazine chamber and mechanisms, including the tension spring. I oiled the mechanisms and cycled the features to be sure that everything was functioning smoothly. Then I wiped away any residual to prevent it from collecting dust. Prior to reassembly, I cleaned my workspace and organized the parts. I sorted the screws by length. I ordered a new driver assembly and a seal kit. The seal kit consists of 2 fine O-rings and a sealing ring. I cleaned the glass cup with an alcohol pad to ensure I removed any residuals from the prior cleanings. I used a hook scribe to remove the seal kit from the original driver. The sealing ring is removed first. The 2 O-rings rest beneath it, applying pressure to expand the sealing ring into the bore. I placed a small amount of oil in the cup to lubricate the O-rings and the seal. I pre-lubricated the driver prior to installing the seals. I ordered 2 seal kits. I'm rebuilding the original driver first as a test sample. I'll store it in the original package in case I need it in the future. I found it easier to install the O-rings from the blade side. With both O-rings installed, I re-lubricated the driver prior to installing the sealing ring. I repeated the process for the new driver. Next, I lubricated the bumper so I could begin assembly. I lubricated the body and the cylinder prior to installing the bumper. I placed the bumper in the body. The bumper is installed with the taper face up. Then I inserted the blade in reverse through the nose of the gun. This aligned the slot of the bumper to the body. Next, I inserted the well-lubricated cylinder into the body and pressed it firmly with my hand. Then I turned the gun over and pressed firmly on the gun to press the cylinder flush with the body. I lubricated the walls of the cylinder and inserted the driver using care to align the driver blade with the slot. Then I cycled the driver to ensure it was well lubricated and not binding. I fully retracted the driver and began to install the magazine. I placed the nose first against the body. I loosely installed the 2 forward mount screws. Note, the mounting screws are the longer 2 Allen screws of the set. Even though I had never removed the lower mount screw to the magazine, I found it easier if it was loosened to realign the upper mount screw. With the magazine installed and tightened, I cycled the driver by hand, checking the alignment of the blade to the nose. I was checking to be sure the driver blade was sliding freely in the channels. I lubricated the driver prior to installing the nose cover. After all 4 magazine screws were installed, I gradually tightened them together. I lightly oiled and cycled the valve assembly. Then I installed the head gasket and the head. I snapped the exhaust gasket disc into position. I placed the exhaust deflector in position and tightened the 4 screws in a crisscross pattern. I lightly oiled the pin setting mechanism. Last, I oiled the air trigger valve by placing oil in the inlet chuck. I cycled the trigger lock and the trigger. I opened the magazine and set the adjuster to 5/8 inch. I loaded the magazine with pins and took it to my workshop for a test drive. It's extremely smooth and quiet. This photo shows why we use pins to support corner joints. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something along the way. If you did, please remember to like and share, and remember, subscribers are always welcome.